Hello all, it's Melinda. This is week 7 of my collaboration with Eileen from Scrapmazing. In case you want to be reminded, we did a stash kit off of this mood board from Studio Calico. Not sure from when though. So we pulled our stuff from this, and this week's challenge is to use heat embossing. And I have decided that I want to try something that I've never tried before. I don't have any large stamps that I would like to use. I want to use this photo of my mother and I. And I'm thinking this is a Balzer Designs stencil. And I think I'm going to try to use this Versamark Dazzle Frost through the stencil. Never done that before. And to use my Zing Gold glitter and see how that turns out. Other than that, be sure to check out Eileen's page for this week. I will link it below. I'll stick you on fast forward and I will show you what I end up doing. Thanks for watching. I'm going to start out by taping this stencil down onto my mat with my paper underneath of it. My goal is not to have this slide. And I'm just going to tap down all over the place. I notice that some places it gets juicier than others. I'm just peeking. And if I don't get uniform, I'm not going to be all that upset. I fast forwarded just so you didn't have to watch me tap, tap, tap. Just going to do it a little more around the edges. And then I'm going to kind of wipe it, because I noticed that some places it just wasn't in the crevices of the small parts of the words. Just one more overall squish. Take the tape off and reveal it. You can just see how it looks wet. And I'm just going to pour this on pretty liberally. This does make quite a mess for me. It's such a large section that I'm doing, and this glitter gets many places. My desk has glitter on it still to this day. It's very fine glitter and it's beautiful. Do a little tapping. And it looks really dark, almost dark brown right now. Just trying to brush away where I don't want it to melt. This is where the mess happens. Just going to try to pour it in. And you see it's glittering on my hands. I get it on my clothes. I get it on the mat. I have it on the stairs going up to my steps now. I take a baby wipe and just kind of clean up the paper there that I'm using. And just heat it up. I'm going to fast forward so you don't have to watch me do all this. I'm going to get closer for you and to watch it. I always love watching heat embossing work. I like to see the change. And this gets really glittery. Sorry about the motion sickness I might have just given you. I notice that some spots just seem not to be as glittery, but I'm thinking it was because I didn't have enough of the Versamark down in those sections. So I'm just going to go back over those sections. And it didn't really change them much, so I shouldn't have wasted my time, but what's done is done. Just going to clean up a little bit. I'm noticing now that there's glitter everywhere. I'm going to start getting my supplies out to see what else I might want to put on there. Because this is the background is so glitter, I don't want to cover up a lot of it, so I know I'm going to end up putting a single pile of layers on this, and I'm thinking I want to try to stick the title on the photo and tuck the journaling in so it stays contained in one little section. I really keep thinking I want to use this, oh, what is that called? Chipboard circles, but I don't. I put it on there a couple times, but I'm just going to put on the tissue paper, and it has gold flecks in it. Just going to trim it up, tape it down the back so the wrinkles stay in. I'm debating on what color, because I go down this path for a little bit where I stack all these. I thought maybe I want to do just a shelf sort of for this photo to sit on, and I go down this for a while before I realize, no, not what I want to do. So I'm going to pick this from the 6x6 paper pad and just cut it with my scissors. I like that it is the mint with the pink flowers. I made the photo black and white so that we didn't have to deal with the colors of my dress and my mother's shirt and the background colors of everyone in their blue gowns. Now I'm thinking if I do this, I want a scallop on it. But like I said, I end up scrapping that idea. So I'm thinking, oh, I like this, but then I don't need all those layers underneath. Nix the layer idea. I go back to that. It was just too harsh in my eye, and it too centered. So after much fiddling, I had to regroup. And I'm trying to figure, I want to use one of these. So my title is maybe not something I would have picked if I had picked my own letters. I'm going to use lucky, and then I'm going to put some tile stickers that say I feel lucky. If you can tell up in the top, I had pulled the chipboard letters with the gold on the bottom to say believe, and I wasn't sure what I was going to title was going to be, and I thought the word believe, but I couldn't think of what else I would put with believe, so I scrapped that. I'm going to pull out the brads. So far I've been able to use brads on every layout, and I'm not finding any that I love right now, but I will. I'm pulling out some more tissue paper. This is just the white with the iridescent dots on it. I thought that the back, the photo pile needed a separation from all the glitter, so I'm thinking that this will work. I just stapled my layers together. I need to wrinkle it up some more. Just going to rip the edges. That when I rip too much, so I'll just add some of it back in. Tissue paper is kind of forgiving, especially when you're going with the kind of the torn edge. And then I'm just going to do 3 layers stacked on top of each other. I want it just to kind of be fluffy and lifted off the page. Definitely separates the background words from the pile of the photos on. Just gonna keep digging through what I have left to see what else I want to add to this. I know the journals have to be on a tag because there's no way I can journal on the background. And I toy with adding a pink tag and a gold dot tag. The gold dot stays, the pink does not. It was too much of a pop of dark pink. This is where I'm deciding what other word I'm going to use. I first put I am lucky, and then I decided that I am is not big enough, so I decided to say I feel lucky. Just going to trim that up. The photo so far isn't attached, just the layers are stapled together. This is a brad combo with a flower that sort of matches the pink, and I toy with sticking something up there, so I'm going to set it there just so I remember that I might want to use it. I'm going to staple these together. I guess I thought I had done that. Adhere the photo. And I need to adhere down some of the tissue paper. I got to set this tag up for its pocket. I'm just making sure that's how I want it. I decide that Lucky is definitely going to go there, and how I'm going to adhere it is just to staple it down on the two edges. The staples are hardly noticeable. You really have to look for them. Now I'm going to work on the pocket. There is a staple for the layers right there where the tag slides, and I just need to make a smooth surface so the tag will slide up and down without catching on that staple. So I just put a piece of cardstock down. I'm going to grab the foam tape. This is Scott's just foam tape, and I'm going to slice it down the center, so I just need a thin strip. For those of you who have seen me do this before, I apologize for the redundancy. And then just one down at the bottom for a stop. And then I just put another piece of cardstock on it so it's like a sandwich. I'm going to stick this non-mobile tag or movable tag in just for looks. I'm going to stick it all together. I'm getting some string. This is hemp in pink. I thought it matched pretty well. It's American Crafts. I believe the color is geranium. I'm going to put a little ball of it right here in the corner just to spread that dark pink around. I cut the tongs off the brads so that I can use them sort of like enamel dots. I'm going to pull 3 of the minty teal colored ones out and use them right with this pile of hemp string. I decide that I don't want to spread my clusters around anywhere. I'm going to sprinkle Heidi Swap Pink Color Shine, and it absorbs very quickly, so I don't have to dry it or pat it off. I decided once I put it down that I didn't sprinkle it far enough out to the edges. These are just the little candy heart stickers. I'm going to sprinkle them here and there. They're sort of see-through, so they don't really make a big impact. They just kind of add to the texture layer. I write the date. I've realized that lately I've been forgetting to stamp the date on things. I think it's just laziness of where I've stuck my roller date stamps, that there's just too much effort to go find them. So I need to move them back. I'm going to plug in the heat, or the glue gun, sorry. I mark where the tag sits so that I can draw lines underneath of it so the journaling doesn't stick out. Just draw regular journaling lines with my marker. The journaling reads, "I couldn't have pulled off Jake or Megan's open house without your help. I am so very grateful that you stepped in and did everything that needed done. I'm sad that we no longer live in the same town, but love our shopping trips and lunches out." I go over it with pencil first so I don't make any mistakes, and then I go over it with the marker and just have to erase it. Now on some surfaces this lightens the pen marker up a little bit for the markers that I use, and so far that hasn't bothered me too much. They turn out to be a little gray color. I notice these are a little flappy. I'm going to hot glue the brads down. I find that hot glue is a lot faster than the glue dots and they don't move around. And I decide that I'm going to hot glue these layers down, little drops. And then I was afraid that my adhesive wouldn't stick to the glitter background, so that's why I went with hot glue. And I've decided that I want the pink to go around the edge so that it kind of brings your eye in. So I'm going to slice this down to about 11.5 by 11.5. And I gut this. I have one more layout to do and I don't want to waste any of the paper that I might need. And I'm just going to adhere it close to the inside edge. And when I put it down, I realize I don't see the pink as much as I want. So I go along and I fold the edge up and rip it and fold it back a little bit. It kind of gives it a more of a, I don't know, I guess rough edge. But mainly I'm doing it so that I can see the pink more in spots. That's why I'm doing it, choosing to do it. Just making sure everything is on. I'm slowing it down to give you a live close-up shot. Look how much that glitters. That is awesome. And with that, the layout is done. I want to thank you for watching. Be sure to check out Eileen's video. I'll link it below. I just write on the back, layout 78 of 2017, that it was a collaboration with Scrapmazing. This is week 7 and the date that it's done, and which process video 24 of my process videos. That's all from my records. These are all the close-ups. I hope you enjoy this collaboration so far. I'm having a great time with it. Thank you again for watching. Bye.